Yo, press record. What's up? You're listening to Zero to X. My name is Daniel, and today with me, as always, my guy. What's up?
Hey guys,
What's
my name
up?
is
What's
Amara.
up?
I'm doing very well.
It's good to hear. Lagos has been a very interesting city the past couple of weeks, and the weather, man.
The weather has been something.
It has been something. I've been seeing a lot of people fall sick.
Yeah,
We pray you guys feel better.
yeah.
Amara has a really interesting question for us today.
Somebody asked me a question.
It doesn't matter.
She's probably going to listen to this episode and hear it anyways.
Much love.
Yeah, much love, much love. And she was basically asking, and the reason why we decided to turn it into an episode was because we thought it would be beneficial to a number of you guys as well. And so the question is, for somebody who isn't a high performer, for somebody who, I think we should start doing this a lot more, answering people's questions.
I think
we have
so.
a number of unanswered questions.
Do we? We do?
Yes.
That would be interesting. Like, I'm over it. Let's get it.
Anyway, sorry, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, the question was for somebody who isn't presently a high performer, who doesn't have the interest to be a high performer. Yeah, do it. Reserve your thoughts. Yeah, you see the face Daniel's giving me. For somebody who doesn't have the interest to be a high performer presently,
Yeah.
how does that person jumpstart the process to becoming a high performer? Like, what would make them want to choose high performance over just being just a regular guy every day? Like, keeping it simple. You don't want stress, just keep it simple. Share your thoughts before I share mine.
Share my thoughts before you share yours. Well, I think it stems from figuring out the kind of life you want to live.
Daniel was taking my thoughts.
I'm sorry. There just happens to be one answer for that in this case. Like, there just happens to be one answer.
Okay, right on.
Honestly, how crazy you see myself and Amara work, or how hard you deduce we work.
Yes, deduce.
From how we talk, from our conversations.
Yes.
It's because from observation and from study and research, we figured out that this is the price we need to pay for the life we want to live.
Do you understand? I don't think I could have said it better. Nice.
Do you understand? So I don't know what any other thing else looks like because I'm not thinking of any other thing else. I just know there's a kind of life I like.
Yes.
There are kind of things I would like to buy for myself. Amara knows this. I don't really ask people for gifts because the gifts that I like
cost.
They do cost.
Every expense.
I can't afford them. If I can't afford them, I don't have the liver to ask someone else to buy for it. You're trying to say so.
Yeah.
I mean, if people get me stuff, if you love me, get me stuff.
Please,
But when they say like do like a wish list or like
guy, that one, guy, people be like, Amara, create your birthday wish. I'm like, I don't know what. I'm genuinely thinking about your pockets, and I'm like, stressful.
Shall get me something that is better than is the thoughts that count. Shall let's not fight, obviously, but you get what I mean, Sha. Yeah. So like the entire, I just knew from a really young age that the things I want, the things I like, and then from a sense of responsibility, given how, for lack of a better word, gifted I was, how it's said that to whom much is given, much is expected, and being able to turn that into results and impact for the world, and then as a byproduct, value for myself, right? I looked at what it could look like, what I imagined that being. I looked at the people in the world that were doing these things. That's why I talk about Elon a lot.
Yes.
I looked at the people that were in similar circumstances that went seemingly against the grain and are doing these things. And I'm like, okay, this is what I want. This is what looks like the price to get it. Right? These are what it looks like my strengths are. These are what it looks like the things I need to develop are. Right? It was an entire just over time weighing things and said, okay, you know what? I'm ready to pay this price. It sucks. I will not lie.
Yeah.
It sucks. Guys, the difference between the episode we recorded last week and this week is, you know how I mentioned that I was sick?
Yeah.
And then kind of it's doing a rebound kind of thing right now because I got better.
Yeah.
And it's doing a rebound kind of thing right now. Bro, last week it wasn't easy to say I want to show up, right? It was hard, but I was in my Kobe Mamba mentality. Michael Jordan. Bro, I promise you, today I did not want to. There was no gingering drawing from the Mamba. There was nothing like that. I was just like, I have to show up.
Yeah, there was no atom of want.
There was no atom of want to prove myself.
It was just have to. It just has to happen.
Have to. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So let me know.
That's what it is.
That's really what it is. I was like, I need to come here.
Yeah.
We need to shoot this. Like, guys, to tell you how bad it was, just before we started shooting, I was like, Amara, this episode doesn't need to be 30 minutes. Like, it was that bad because I was like, God, I need to rest. I need to lay my head. My head is banging. My nose is doing anyhow.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's uncomfortable doing this, right?
Yeah.
But then we think about it that in some way
it's
the price to pay.
Yeah.
Right? And by virtue of what you imagine the end goal or the grand vision to be, that determines what your daily inputs have to be day in, day out.
Yes.
And your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to show up and do those things. Yeah. You can complain, shall do it.
Yes.
You can hate it, shall do it.
Oh my God.
You miss a day, that sucks. Get back on your horse the next day. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, speaking to that fact on a lighter note, there's a shooting coach I respect on Instagram and YouTube, the Lethal Shooter. He tells you don't miss twice. You can miss one because it can happen, but don't miss twice. Don't miss a shot twice in a row. So essentially, if someday you are just unable to show up, pick it up the next day. Don't let it be 2 days in a row. Absolutely do not let it be 3 days in a row, right? But then how do you be a high performer? It's, first of all, deciding the life you want to live.
Figuring out the price.
Figuring out the price that will demand from you.
Yeah.
And then showing up and paying
I like everything you said, because it's kind of like a very, very, very bird's eye view perspective of what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go bottom up. You've come from top bottom. Yeah. And it makes a lot of sense. When I think about answering this question, I answered it already. Yeah. In some way, I tried to. And I don't know that I will do a better job now. Yeah. Yeah, because we just thought about it that let's answer this question. Yeah. Yeah. But when I think about it, I said one of the first things that would help in this regard is what I termed a clarity exercise. And the point of the clarity exercise being, you need to figure out for yourself. Yeah, I remember in answering this question, there's a couple of things I said. I said, first of all, that the problem a lot of human beings have. Yeah. It's a problem, but you don't need to see it as such. It's just what it is. And it's that a lot of people don't think very deeply about what they want their lives to look like. I agree. It's very surface level. I agree. Thinking. They don't. Yes. Guys, please don't gloss over that point. Yes. People don't think as deeply as they need to about what they want their lives to look like. Here's why. Now, so let me dive just a little bit into that. If you think about the kind of house you want to live in, yeah, say you are in your late 20s, early 30s, yeah, and so you're thinking 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line. So 10 years down the line, 5 years, depending on what age you are, you will somewhere be between 30 and 40. Yeah. If it's ridiculous and you're an OG listener for us, you're probably 45-ish. Yeah. Right? And so that would mean, big shout out to like our OGs that are listening. We have so much love and respect for you guys. So much love, so much respect. But that would mean that 5-10 years down the line, you are between 30 and 45, depending on your current age. Yeah. So ask yourself, what kind of house do I want to live in?
Like, get specific.
Yes.
People realize that they don't.
Guys, Daniel knows. Daniel has seen the videos of the houses I want to. Of the houses I've considered wanting to live in.
Yeah.
So let's be clear. We're not talking about what you want next year. Actually, you need to move from your present place. That's not what we're talking about. We're saying if you have gotten to a point where you can say you are financially free, and by my definition, financial freedom being the ability to do what you want to do when you want to do it, and still retain the time, the energy, and the peace of mind to go through that process. So the only thing you're really expending is cash.
I hear that.
So you get to a point where you look at this life 5-10 years down the line, and you can say, yes, I'm living the life of my dreams.
Interesting.
So if that is the definition that you are using to make your assessment, then the caliber of house should show in that definition. So if I ask you what kind of house do you want to live in, think with that frame.
Yeah.
Think with that reference. If I ask you what kind of amount of money do you want to spend on clothes, monthly and yearly? The thing is, you probably won't have the answers to these things. The answers to these things will require Google search. The answers to these things will require TikTok searches, Instagram searches.
And the interesting thing about this is, this will be a situation, I promise you, of when the student is ready, the master will appear. That's when you just start saying, this watch, it's looking good.
I deserve this.
Like that jacket. Like, does he have two heads?
No, he doesn't. I heard him speak on the show, and I was like, this dude is saying wrong.
This dude, I'm smarter than him, right?
And if I'm just as intelligent as he is,
why am I not getting his results?
Exactly. So if I'm just as smart as this guy, why am I not getting his kinds of results?
100%.
That's when you determine within yourself that, yes, I can do what that person is doing. 100%. And so I deserve that kind of watch as well. I deserve that kind of clothing
that
as
watch
well.
will enter your eye. Those shoes will enter your eye. You'll be asking, what's doing you? Nothing, just leave me alone.
And then in addition to this, there's a couple of other things I also hinted. You think about how much you want to be able to help your parents as they age. Or your loved ones as they age.
How much you want to take care of your people?
Yes. What does that expense look like monthly and yearly? For example, if it's your parents, the question then becomes, are you going to retire them to an old parents' home, or are they going to have their own place? And is it going to be a really well thought out place with some caretaker or something? What are these things?
Yeah.
That's the thing I said at the beginning, where I said a lot of people don't think deeply. Because if you think deeply, you will begin to understand the costs. The costs are steep for that kind of life. You want to be able to afford, let's say, 2 to 4 vacations a year, depending on your lifestyle. Vacation.
You don't.
Doings. Okay. And the thing, when I say vacation, let's be clear, guys, I'm not talking about within your country. So whatever country.
Oh, that's why I said you don't. If you still thought it was within this country and I called you, you don't. I'm sorry, you don't rate me. You really don't rate me.
So you're definitely leaving your country, right?
Yeah.
2 to 4 times a year. We're not asking you for
take a week or two.
Yeah. You consider that. You consider life insurance as well.
Very, very.
What's
important.
that going to look like?
Very important.
You consider. What else is there to consider? Feeding. Are you going to eat 5-star?
I think we should.
How balanced is your diet?
A lot. I think we should dwell on this food thing a little because. Your health and fitness in general.
How much are you going to spend? Are you going to get a gym coach? Are you going to get equipment in your house?
How you feel your body, how you rest your body, how you take care of yourself, like the food you eat. Right? Both for fuel and for nourishment and for enjoyment. Like, what does that look like? Will the entire family be carrying takeaway packs to go and buy Ewa Goy? And maybe max you spend 2K, 3K on breakfast, which is not bad. Families do it. Families in Nigeria.
Remember the definition we gave, guys.
Or remember the definition we gave. We need you guys to think deeply and really, really, really
take our time.
This.
Take our time. Like,
what
guys,
do you want?
If you need to get a vision board on this matter, feel free.
Enjoy.
If you
Pinterest,
need to have
Notion,
a Pinterest mood
cardboard, go and print pictures out and put things. whatever it is.
Exactly, man.
Whatever you need, like you need to be able to see these things pictorially.
When you do this exercise, guys, it will bring you to a point of recognition of the fact that you need money.
Honestly speaking, is that the sum total, like the summary of the entire scenario that we need is that you need money and you need it consistently. You need a system. You don't need one big hit.
Yeah, you don't.
You need a system
that ensures that lifestyle.
That is what is crazier.
Yeah.
People can say, okay, I just need to hit 100 million.
Yeah.
With whatever thing, like maybe they are working on a particular side hustle, right? That's fine and good. Yeah. The challenge comes with, okay, I need to make $10K, $20K every month.
Every month. Yeah, that's where the challenge now sets in.
Like if you really, really, really think about it, you'll be like, and a beautiful place to be is when you don't know what to do. You will not, like, it will demand creativity from you.
We're getting there.
It will demand creativity from you. Just be like, let me bring it home, guys. Last week, Amara and I were in counseling class.
Oh, yeah.
We're in counseling class. They now say, what is the,
budget?
The cost of doing a wedding.
In Nigeria. Just what do we call it? A yardstick wedding.
Yardstick wedding.
It's not outlandish.
You won't sound crazy. Yardstick past yardstick. Yardstick past yardstick. So all of us that were in that counseling class together were just like, Lord. We can't say the amount here because, like, the end of the matter, Alayego house. It's that kind of thing where if I proposes to his babe, I will just go and lock himself for like, it's like 2 months.
Bro.
Just they trade. Oh my God. Lord. I know what's crazy for me. Even when I thought about getting married, I realized I hadn't dipped it.
Bro, I said we don't.
It was literally there.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, dude. There is honestly, and again, this is nuanced.
It is very nuanced.
There are some people I want to invite for my wedding. There's a
caliber of people. Yeah. And so there has to be a caliber of wedding as well.
It has to be. I know people might have varying distance about it.
Yes, about different thoughts. I mean, even in that counseling, there were multiple thoughts. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, my wedding is my business, Abi.
Do you understand?
So, I thought about it. I was like, Yeah.
It's
bro, hustle. Like it was go hustle. Then you think about the quality of life, like
what's the quality of life going to look like?
See, bro, throughout last week, all I was saying is because the realization of this is really what it's going to take.
And one reason why I like these exercises is after doing the exercise, you don't determine for yourself how crazy do I want to get with with pursuing these goals.
100%.
Like, do I want to hear it now? Or am I willing to wait 5 years for it to play out? You choose how it's going to play out, guys.
Like literally just before we started
shooting, Daniel was telling me some goals. I was like, energy.
And it comes from being super pissed. I told Amara about something that happened with work just before I came, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Enemies blocking my progress.
Die by fire.
He reached to die by fire. So guys, and I think I strongly, guys, don't. People have this tendency to want to ignore suggestions that are simple.
There's a podcast for that.
There's a podcast for that. It's not this one.
It's not this one.
It's not this one. The simple thing they tell you to do, they suggest for you to do.
Yeah.
You don't do it because you can mentally just run it in your mind.
You can mentally just...
You need to sit down.
Sit down with the numbers.
Sit down now.
Like the numbers. Embrace the numbers.
Right. Sit down and type. Look up. Like, you actually need to sit down.
It took me a while to do this exercise. And Daniel knows the first time. It's been a number of years.
It's been a number of years.
Since I did it the first time. And I've reviewed it again.
A number of times that we've done this exercise, I
was like, bro, I did it recently again. I was like, oh boy.
That was what my guy to be doing somehow last week now. Right, Amara just came with Ginger.
Guys,
to exhibit it. I was like, oh guys, they do.
I said, bro, I'm saying something. I was like,
Bro, energy, I love it so much, guy. Wait till I'm like, yeah, the person where they look, yeah, man, the results.
Anyway, let's get back to putting this thing together completely.
Yeah.
So after you do that, there's a number of ways you can do it, but the simplest way would just be to think about what those things will look like annually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. What would the clothing expense look like annually for a family of how many? I'm assuming you're thinking about for your family, but you want to think about for just yourself. That's fine as well.
Whatever your life looks like in 5 years.
Car? What's your transport going to look like?
Are you going to be Ubering everywhere? That's a very valid, equally expensive option.
Yes, if you choose Uber every time, that's fine. What if you choose the train? That's fine.
If you want a car, that's fine. If you want a car with a driver,
know the price.
That's fine.
Know what it costs annually. Divide those totals. So you found out how much your dream accommodation is going to cost.
Guys, I hope you are writing this down.
You find out how much all these things
See, I promise you, you say you come back to the podcast, you might not. Guys, get pen and paper.
Yeah, you probably might
write
not.
these things down.
So after doing all of that, you sum it up and you divide it by 12. And then you know how much you need to be earning on a monthly basis. And by the time you do that exercise, you then realize that the caliber of people who are earning what you want to earn don't live like you, right?
100%.
Like that's when you see the gap.
That's when you see the gap.
That's when you see the need.
You become aware. The need for growth.
You
start to have a healthy dissatisfaction
with your current
state.
Yes.
That's where it starts from.
Yeah.
That's
it. And then you begin plotting. You now want to start
go
plotting.
And listen to the episode on plotting, guys. Listen to the you need to be plotting.
You start plotting.
What are your moves?
How do I make that person's lifestyle look like my lifestyle? Mm-hmm. How do I close that gap? And keep in mind, I've said this on another episode, this person is not standing still.
This person is not standing still.
They're moving.
I remember this.
There's a way Alex says it, Alex Homoise, he says 2 times the effort of the top guy.
Yeah.
So if you found one of those people that lives the kind of life that you want to live, they're doing a couple zeros in annual income, and you like those zeros, okay. You've looked at their lifestyle, you looked at the skill sets they have.
Yeah.
What kind of soft skills, leadership, organizational management, communication, what kinds of skills do they have on the soft skills side? What kind of technical skills do they have? What kinds of certifications do they have? You've seen all of these things, you've drawn out your roadmap.
Yeah.
For how long it will take you to achieve these things. Your 5-year plan, whatever, you distill that plan from 5 years down to your 1-year action, your action steps, the 6-month action steps, your weekly and daily action steps. By the time you finish that process, it becomes clear the amount of work you need to put in.
Yeah.
If at that point you are still not convinced to be a high performer,
I don't.
Maybe high performance is not for you.
Maybe the good life is not for you.
Just maybe you are fine with happiness in the simple things. There's a category of people in life that fall into that subset. We don't hold it against you.
What's that like?
But I don't know what that's like, bro.
What's that?
I can't fathom what that's like. I can't even lie. But we aren't insensitive to the fact that there are people who...
There are people who are happy to...
Yes, just happy to
100%.
be happy.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
They like the simple things.
See, guys, at the end of the day, it's being fulfilled in a way that is meaningful to you, and you have as little complaints as possible about the life that you've lived.
Yes.
Like, getting to that life doesn't mean you won't have complaints.
Exactly.
You start to deal with different kinds of problems at that level. So it is not problem free.
Yes.
It is not complaint free.
Yes.
Right. But there just has to be a level of self-actualization and fulfillment you need to have in where you are going to be, because there is a very unhealthy dissatisfaction you can develop when you realize that you wanted something and you didn't work for it.
And something has been trending recently. See, I don't want to explain again. I'm tired of explaining myself.
You understand?
Oh God.
So guys, really, that's how it will come.
That's why I said you gave a very good bird's eye view explanation
of what it looks like, top to bottom.
It looks like.
100%.
Basically, understand what you want out of life.
What you want out of life.
Figure out the price.
Figure out the price that needs to be paid for
spend
it.
Every day
on
that
a daily
price.
basis, and then spend every single day.
That's it.
Without fail.
That's it.
If you fail, don't miss 2 days twice.
Bro.
Don't fail twice, 2 days in a row.
Bro.
I don't even want to, see guys, I don't know how I can explain it to you. So this is us showing you that showing up is not sexy.
Bro.
It's not sexy.
I can see. I think I said it on another episode. But there's days where my routine goes to absolute destruction. And I like, for example, one of those days was yesterday, and I was working out by 8 p.m. in the night, and I didn't even care. Like, I'm working this thing out. Like,
I hear that.
Like, there's things that there's parts of my life that I just can't afford. I use workout a lot because it's very relatable.
It's relatable.
I don't want to have to bore people with other areas of my life.
Yeah.
But there's parts of my life where these things can't afford to shake. I've learned the lesson of not dropping the ball.
Very important.
If you learn that lesson,
very important.
If you learn that lesson, guys, the moment you realize that it is very costly to drop the ball in any area of your life,
100%,
because it takes a lot more to pick it up.
It takes a lot to pick it back up.
It takes a lot more to pick it back up.
So
when you figure that out, you just want to show up every day and put in.
Yeah, just show up every day. Start small.
That thing I was saying, I just remember what I was trying to say. That I started a train of thought and didn't finish. Where I was saying that you need to think about what the highest performer is in that area, and put in 2 times their effort. This might not be able to apply to every single area that you have outlined.
How
for
do you
your
want
life.
to work as twice
yes,
as much
it's not as easy as it is said. We agree. We agree.
As it is said, rather.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it is said. But if you can, I'm not asking you to contemplate it. I'm saying choose to put in twice the effort.
Yeah.
Choose that.
100%.
And then on the days where you can't figure out what twice the effort looks like, that's fine. But choose to put in twice the effort.
100%.
And then the problem would be that when we think about this practically, we begin to see how there might be issues with quantifying what twice the effort will look like when it's a time-bound activity.
Yeah.
You can't say you want to do twice the amount of time because then something else might suffer.
Yeah.
Do you get? So you need to be creative in the ways you think about trying to put in twice the input or same input, twice the output. Whether you have to employ leverage being tech, people, or more or cash. Yeah, so that's up to you to figure out. Or media.
100%. 100%. But the point is to not stop working towards the building of the life you want to live. If you keep doing that, I think you'll be fine.
It's not a function of if.
I think you'll be fine.
It's a function of when. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's not a function of if.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
So, all right, guys, as always, we hope this was a very beautiful podcast.
We hope this was very useful to you guys. Please, if you haven't tried the exercise that Amara expatiated on, please, I beg you, do it.
Yeah, guys.
You'll be a lot more. It will serve you. You'll be
very self-aware.
You know what's crazy about the stuff we talk about on the podcast, right? Like literally last week we spoke about excellence.
Yeah.
And how we talked about it being an attitude, a mindset thing. And it was very top of mind for me. And on my way home, doing all the other things, that's text around now like, guy, this is an actual paradigm shift.
Yeah.
So guys, it's not just being educated and
it's not just
being entertained,
filling yourself with endorphins.
Like bro, thank you for the love, thank you for the listens. But what will make us even more so glad is putting the things we suggest into practice, as many as you find useful and applicable. All right, guys, thank you so much for
making
taking
this
the time to listen, making it part of your day.
Yeah.
See you in the next one. Cheers, guys.